Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Inspiration, motivation takes. Listen to the podcast. We're all about to talk about life. Our guests will share their life story. We want you to success in life and business. We're ready and we will start shortly. We're gonna talk about life. We're going to speak on business. You're gonna shine bright. We are going to witness. Business with a servant's heart. With hosts Steve Ramona and Ray. Inspiration, education talks. Listen to the podcast. Steve Ramona.
Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. I'm your host, Steve Ramona. I'm super fired up. I say that all the time, but I got a guest today. It's one of my first. We're going to talk about security and executive protection. I've learned a little bit before the show. You guys are going to be fired up because there's a servant's heart part of this that my guest is going to talk about. We also explored the idea of a servant's heart in your business and life. Go out there and impact people, make a difference. We're also bringing guests on who are going to motivate you, inspire you, and educate you to make an impact in your world. And that's going to happen today. I want you to think about today after the show, how you're going to serve yourself and serve others. Go out and make that impact. What kind of impact are you going to create today? And I want to thank Pantheon, our sponsor for today's show, joining a community of high-income entrepreneurs and business leaders to create a world-changing thought leader platform to grow your business. So let's jump right in. Let's welcome Brett to the show. Welcome, Brett.
How you doing, Steve? Thank you so much for having me.
I'm great. Like I told you before the show, executive protection is new to me. Tell us a little bit about it.
Executive protection is, back when I started in the 90s, executive protection wasn't even the word that was used. Everybody called us bodyguards. And that was kind of like the carryover term from many years of seeing that big, typically bald meathead that was walking with someone who you knew either from TV or politics or whatever. It's evolved quite a bit since then to some very specific training and skill sets and things that have a wide-ranging effect on what the business is.
So you've developed in Puerto Rico, San Juan, a training center to make sure this industry is done correctly. And I'm probably saying it wrong, but they're trained properly because could be life and death at times, I would think.
Absolutely. So I can't take all the credit for the training facility. That would be disingenuous. I have a partner who is a true security and executive protection professional by the name of Will Alejandro. The company we have is called Concrete Jungle Tactical. That is the name of the training facility. That is the name that we go under when we train people. Shadow Protection is our security company. So when we're out and about, we go under the name Shadow Protection. The training facility is actually an abandoned school. Now, why is that relevant? That's relevant because if you know anything about CQB, which is close quarter battle training, you need all of those blind corners. You need areas where you can maneuver as a group into blind spots and things like that. As unfortunate as it is, we do have a lot of active shooter scenarios that take place in schools, offices, college campuses, things of that nature. So having that abandoned school is an excellent training area for us, training location. We also do defensive and offensive driving. Will was a former State Department trained and worked as a trainer in the State Department facilities, because when people who are going to go to work for an embassy overseas, you have to go through a certain amount of training to be able to go. So everybody gets the basics. Some of the basics are, surveillance detection, your standard situational awareness, know where you're going and what you're doing, even if you're just a secretary or you're no one of true importance, as far as, in the spy world would go. But the offensive and defensive driving could and will save your life, and has many times over saved people's lives. Knowing how to maneuver out of a dangerous situation without puncturing your radiator or giving yourself a flat tire so that your car still is mobile. That stuff really matters.
Yeah. Brett, thanks for weaving in the servant's heart, because if you're saving lives, that's a servant's heart. and to be trained
Absolutely.
properly, because you could actually make a mistake and lose somebody's life because you weren't trained properly. I love what you're doing. What does a person that's listening goes, God, I want to be an EP? What's the first steps, maybe?
Typically, you would have had a security or military background to begin with, and you maybe were not chosen for a detail, but you saw how a detail operated. All details are somewhat different, but you're drawn to it. You don't thrust someone into EP. Someone has to want to be a part of that. Someone has to be intrigued by the concept of protection. Now, when it comes to protection, we have the highest standard, which is the United States Secret Service, obviously. Men and women who on many occasions, even though they've been under scrutiny a lot lately, are willing to trade their lives and put themselves in harm's way to save the president's life. So all aspects of EP are derivatives of what's happening in Secret Service. So regardless of who your client is, and I've had multiple clients in the political space who are under very serious threat, whether it's someone's throwing rotten eggs, rotten tomatoes, someone just wants to voice their opinion and they get a little bit too aggressive. And then the obvious threats, the bomb threats, the things like that come from that. So you have to be willing to trade. You have to believe so much in what you're doing that you're willing to say, I'm willing to go to the nth degree. The nth degree is give my life.
You're passionate about this. It exudes out of you like blood. Why are you so passionate? I know saving lives is part of it, but there's got to be much more, right?
Yeah. It's just who you are. That's why I said you can't choose people for it.
Yeah.
There has to be something in you that wants to do it. I wasn't always the greatest guy. Wasn't always, as a younger man, I looked up to some of the wrong people. I didn't always make the best decision. And as you age, one of the things that you take with you on the other side of 25, a lot of your shenanigans stop at 25, but you make decisions leading up to that. Say, I will never do that again. I will never put myself in that situation again. I will never let someone question my judgment again. So then a lot of your decisions as an adult are always about, I'm going to go one step further. I'm going to try a little bit harder. I'm going to stay a little bit longer. I'm 51 years old. I just turned 51 in February. I still weigh 265 pounds. I'm still in the gym 5 times a week. I still am in the top 3% of any gym that I go to when it comes to strength, power. I still get on the ground and roll around when I have to. I just had a confrontation. Monday was a week ago, so about 10 days ago. So you have to have that fight in you. You have to have that desire in you, and I still do.
Yeah, it's not for everybody. I mean,
It's
I'm
not for
thinking maybe
everybody.
for me. It's not for me, and that's okay. You out
It
there
is
listening,
okay.
that's okay. Yeah,
But what you're doing really matters too, right?
Yes.
So my
Yep.
story is no good if I can't communicate it out. So everybody plays a part.
That's perfectly said. Thank you, Brad. I'm so glad you said that. Not everybody can afford EP or should have an
Correct.
EP, but do you have a tip or two for people listening to help with their own security, maybe at their home, work, or things they can do?
So depending on what people do, one of the things that we offer is we do offer security assessments. And it's one of the things that we're really good at. One of the things that I do here in Las Vegas is some consulting work for one of the large corporations here, where we have done penetration testing. And yes, there are weaknesses even in casino and hotel security here in Las Vegas. There's not many, but they do exist. So one of the things that we do offer is if a person feels that they are under threat or they have a problem, free of charge, we offer that consultation. Now, based on where we go from there, obviously there's going to be some expense involved if there's travel, if there's us having to touch base with our law enforcement and our military contacts that we have all over the country and all over the world. And that's one of the things about Will and I. You know, you're combining 50 plus years of security, military, federal law enforcement. We've both worked out of the country in a multitude of countries. So we have contacts at embassies. We have business contacts all over the place. If we need to start to employ some of that to assist someone and make someone feel safe, obviously there's a charge. But one of the things that we do offer, like I said, if you were to call me tomorrow and say, hey, I have a guy, here's his problem, he doesn't really know where he stands, I'm willing to give him an hour of my time and listen and make an assessment and go from there.
That's servant's heart. See, that's why, you get security and then you, peel the onion back and you go, in his heart, it's servant. Because that's what we should do. We should give
100%. Well, here's why though. If I want to implore your audience to trust me, how in the world can I say to talk to me, you have to pay me?
Yeah.
No one is going to feel good about you. What I'm saying is if we come up with a plan and we say, hey, listen, you live in the state of Washington, for example. I got to fly 3-4 guys out there. We need probably 2 to 3 days. There's an expense involved. Here's what we charge to do that. That's a reasonable understanding. But if you need an hour of my time, I'll give you an example. I was going through something with a guy. I don't want to say what state he was in because it was just this year in 2025. And he was going through a bad divorce and a business separation at the same time. And his ex-wife, through her attorney, got in touch with his business partner's attorney, and they were ganging up on him. And they were doing some things that were making him a little bit uncomfortable. I didn't believe that there was I didn't believe his life was in danger. I believe that he was under a lot of stress. He was feeling a lot of pressure. Ultimately, we did do a couple things for him for free. I did put him in touch with someone that was there. I gave him 3 days of our time collectively, went through everything and just said, listen, this isn't going to rise to you're going to come home and there's going to be a masked man waiting in your driveway. You don't need my services. But if you do feel threatened, here's a number that you can call. That to me is good service. Because what's he going to do? He's going to tell everyone he knows that I did everything I could for him and I didn't charge him. But I didn't have to do anything. I never had to leave my house to make that happen.
Even more so for you, Brett, because it's such an emotional thing. That guy's going through all that emotion, and you just go, hey, it's $15,000. Here's what I'll do. He's going to go, holy mackerel, I've got beat up here. Now Brett's beat me up. Instead, you go, here's how I can help you. No charge. Here's some options for you.
Yeah,
Audience,
I don't want anything for free, for sure.
No, absolutely. Well, let's talk about your exciting project, which I'm excited about too. That's coming up and, hopefully getting going here this year. Talk about the new project.
So the new project in McDermott, Nevada is super exciting. We've been working on this for months and months. So a client / woman who started as a client turned into a very good friend by the name of Monica Maciel, who some of you may know because she's actually the president of the California Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She's also a talent agent. And on top of that, more so than anything else, she is a Class A wonderful human being. Monica and a partner were approached about the potential to purchase a little tiny casino in a town called McDermott, Nevada. McDermott is about 4 hours and 45 minutes outside of Las Vegas. So it's out there. It's kind of where Humboldt and Idaho and Nevada kind of all come together. The interesting part about that is there's one small police substation. It's a 53-minute drive from the casino. So there's a mineral mine that is in McDermott and this casino. So what they're doing now that the deal is solidified, I can talk about it. The casino is going to be expanded. We're going to put they're going to put some hotels and things there, some bigger restaurants, probably truck stop, gas station, things of that nature. And then the town is going to be built out. Then we're going to put a training facility there. We're going to put a state-of-the-art training facility there. And what we want to do is we want to entice, using some of our different government contacts, we want to entice international special forces, international, very specific police units, whether they be police units that do protection work, whether they be drug interdiction units, anything like that. We want to entice them to come out to our facility that's going to be way out in the middle of nowhere. No one's going to be able to see what you're doing. You can have as much time and space as you need in private. And that's what we're going to be offering out there, while at the same time providing the security for this build out of this town.
The exciting thing is you're going out to the police force, to the forces that, I don't know if they need help, but you know the words out there, oh, police, defunct, all that. To me, it's crazy stuff. You're going to make them even better with this training facility, right?
100%. So a lot of police, especially in smaller townships, they go through their academy process and then it stops there. And that is, somewhat unfortunate. Now, there's a couple reasons for that. Number one is funding. Number two is time. You can't just drain your entire police force and have them all go train somewhere. Who's going to be the police in the township where they work? What we're going to offer are continual routine classes with multiple police forces participating. So if you can only send 2 officers this month and then 2 officers next month, or 4 per quarter, or whatever it is, we're definitely going to work on that. We also want to, like I said, there are a lot of narcotics interdiction police forces from Germany, from Jamaica, from Belize, from Brazil, that like to come and train with former military special forces people that really have done that at the highest level, and they can train in privacy in the United States and then take that training back and implement it in their country of origin.
Brett, so what you're really doing is making cities and countries safer.
Correct. So Will and I both worked out of the country. I have a lot of time in the Dominican Republic and in Haiti. And I did a lot of different details in both of those countries. And education, training, and funding limit law enforcement tactics in those countries way beyond what someone from the United States would be able to understand. And a lot of the problems that exist based on lack of funding, lack of training. It's not that they don't all have the desire to do the right thing. Some of them really don't yet know how to do the right thing. So it takes time to be able to train them.
What you don't know, you don't know. That
Correct.
is so true. What do you see, or do you have a story of some groups you've worked with, police forces, and they have to name names, obviously, that you've worked with where you've made a difference?
Sure. So I worked very closely with Polifront, which is basically the Haitian Border Patrol. Polifront is the group that works right on the border between the Dominican Republic and Haiti, and that is a very tumultuous situation there. So we had some expertise as it pertained to gangs, banditos, armas, which is weapons, and drogas, which is drugs. So we took, of our 22-person group, we took the top 5, myself and 4 others, and we worked nonstop. As a matter of fact, you can see from some of the graduations in some of the pictures that are over my shoulder where I'm sitting.
Yeah.
That's actually me sitting with some very high-end officials in Haiti at one of our graduation ceremonies that we had. So we worked very closely with them. Obviously, one of the things that people don't know, and I don't really want to get into too much of it, but sex trafficking is a huge issue in Haiti. A lot of the sex trafficking, the actual trafficking portion and movement portion of it, happens through Haiti, coming out of other countries in Latin America, like Colombia, because there is a lack of law enforcement. There is a lack of funding to provide those services. So we did a lot of work as it pertained to how to spot, how to identify, and how to safely interdict, and what to do in those instances.
That's powerful. What do you see the future of your training center in McDermott look like in the next 3 to 5 years?
After we get it built, which is probably going to take about a year to get it built, we're going to have a state-of-the-art facility where organizations can fly in, because we do have a private airstrip, can fly in, can stay in our private hotel, and they can do every single form of weapons training that exists, from bomb detection, long rifles, small arms, CQB, offensive and defensive driving, and then all of the classroom training. So one of the things that we're going to offer is we're going to offer state-of-the-art video training where we can actually use the simulators, and it's just like the way football is done now, right? Mm-hmm. So you put a person in a classroom and you say, here's exactly what we're going to do. You take them out to the range and you do it. And then you take them immediately back to the classroom and you run through your grading. And then you take them immediately back out so that they do it, they learn, they educate, and then they go out and they get better. That process over and over and over again really hones in those skills.
Incredible. So you're going to get faster education, more education.
Correct.
So when they leave, they're just at the top of the game, and you cover everything.
We cover everything.
Yeah.
We're not going to do any canine training or anything like that. But we are going to have the largest long rifle range. We are going to have the largest CQB course in the western portion of the United States. And we're going to offer some real state-of-the-art classroom training that only exists in a couple places. I have some really, really excited people on board, former special forces operators, some people who live for this, and this is what they do. So you're going to get some really expert training when you show up.
So you got a lot of mini Bretts, people just like you living this.
Yeah, well, great. I wasn't enlisted, so I was a contractor. Okay. So because I worked with every branch, I kind of get a taste of what every branch is. Yeah. And then of course I have my lovely daughter who works on the drone program in the Air Force and loves to tell me, wow. Dad, I can't tell you. Which is great. So but I have worked with every branch. One of our partners, a gentleman by the name of Chris Gepper, who's actually our medic, was the gentleman who set up the Coast Guard Special Forces and Special Reaction Unit. So we have everything covered: land, sea, air. We're going to make sure you get exactly what you're coming to get. We're
coming to the end here, Brett. Time flew. I knew it would. You're just such a great guy and got a huge heart. And we're going to bring him back, audience, because this is neat. Whether you like guns or not, we're not going to go there because we need security. I don't care what anybody else says. And it's getting more important than ever. Any last words about the McDermott project or what you're doing in San Juan?
Well, you know what? I would like to let everybody know, and I believe that you're going to put a link up. I would like to let everyone know, if you have it in you and you feel that you would like to be a part of any type of EP training or anything like that, go to Shadow Protection LLC. Look us up. All of our information is there. There's a ton of videos, people that we've trained, success stories. Our contact information is there. We actually have an EP class coming up at the end of this month. Go on shadowprotectionllc.com. Look up what it is. There is a ton of opportunity to come. We're not trying to gouge people. Go ahead. If you like what you see, I promise you'll be thrilled when you go, and you'll come out of there a different person, male or female. You're going to get state-of-the-art military and law enforcement based training, and you're going to come out feeling really good about yourself. So that's the shadow protection side. As far as what we're doing in McDermott, I kind of just talked about it. I think the biggest part is going to be going in there and establishing a security presence, for lack of a better term. Mm-hmm. Getting the word out that there's a new sheriff in town. We're going to be building up that town, and it's going to be done the right way. And we're going to make sure that we have some people in place to make all employees, contractors, anyone that's bringing materials back and forth, you're going to be safe and secure, because I got a pretty strong team of 10 guys biting their lips right now, waiting to go in there. They've been waiting for about 3 months, and now they're going to go.
They're ready to roll. Well, I want to thank you, Brett, because you've shown me a servant's heart can even show up in protection and security. We all think they're just excuse my language, badass guys. They don't care about people. You care. And God bless you. Thank you so much. And I support you. And I will have the links in the show notes to connect with me, audience. I'll make sure you get connected with Brett. We're going to stay connected. We're doing some projects together. So I'm super excited. Thanks again, Brett. And everybody.
Thank you, Steve.
You're very welcome. Thanks for watching or listening to this podcast. Me and Brett, thank you so much. And we look forward to seeing all of you in the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. Be safe.